Welcome back, MTN Nets podcast. Another day, another loss for the Brooklyn Nets. We have not beat the Knicks since January of 2023, so about 14 months ago. The good old days, that's when Kyrie took over in the fourth quarter, and it was a great win. But since that time, the Nets have been really dominated in this in-city or in-borough versus borough rivalry, whatever the hell you want to call it. Not that it's much of a rivalry in the first place. I feel like the fans take it way more serious than the players do. But it was an embarrassing loss. The Nets went an entire 8 minutes and 3 seconds in the fourth quarter without scoring a field goal or making a field goal. You can't win that way. The Knicks took 21 more shots. The Knicks had a 26-3 advantage in second chance points, and early in the fourth quarter, the game was tied 80-80, and at one point it got to 104-86. The Knicks went on a 24-6 run, which was mainly ignited by Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart. And I believe the Knicks don't have a couple starters. I mean, technically Mitch Robinson too, so that could be three, but no OG Anunoby, who when he plays, the Knicks have been like pretty much unbeatable based on their record. And no Julius Randle and no Mitchell Robinson. So three guys who potentially could be starting for that team. I know Robinson had that thing saying he wants to come off the bench, but you get the point. Still an important rotation piece nonetheless. So for this Nets team, that is 6 straight losses. And while I should be disappointed, and I kind of am because it'd be nice to win this game, it just, big picture wise, and I tweeted this before, big picture wise, it does get us closer to what we want, which is A, get Sean Marks fired, and B, get us closer to rebuilding as compared to trading for, B-level stars and getting rid of our valuable picks from 2025 to 2029. And I know Nets Daily tweeted that thing yesterday about the Nets are going to go star hunting still, and that's their plan, and said that the Nets want to do something similar to what the Phoenix Suns did. Is that really what you want? Like, you watch the Phoenix Suns, right? And the Suns, by the way, not to get off topic too much, but the Suns, by the way, have had really good injury luck. And I say that it's not entirely true. Bradley Beal missed a lot of games, but Jusuf Nurkic and Kevin Durant are two guys that I don't think those guys have played over 60 games since like pre-pandemic, and for Nurkic it might be even longer. So neither of those guys have sustained long-term injuries. I think Nurkic and KD are probably on pace to play over 70 games this year. So they've gotten pretty lucky in that regard, and the Suns are still in the play-in, I believe, or maybe they're the 6th seed, 7th seed, I don't know. I think they're the 7th seed right now. But either way, that is not who you should strive to be. I mean, it's better than our situation, obviously, but it's not sustainable. It's not a long-term thing. Like, how long is this Suns window going to be? Maybe 2 or 3 more years? Like KD will be 37 in 2 years. Like, how long can that window be? So anyway, to react to this game, sorry for getting off topic, but the Knicks had way more shots, way more second chance points. The Nets couldn't make a shot in the fourth quarter, and that's the difference. The Knicks have more talent. They play better defense. Like, the way they play defense is so impressive. I don't want to sit here and compliment them too much, but the way Tom Thibodeau has those guys playing on defense is, it's great. I mean, you look at guys who I don't think when they were in different locations, whether it's Brunson or DiVincenzo or whoever, like, I don't think most of these guys were looked at as like elite defensive players, but when they play together as a unit, even Hartenstein when he played for, was he a Clipper? I forget where he was before this, but let me see. I want to make sure I get my stuff right here. He was a Clipper one year, but he was with the Rockets, Denver, Cleveland. He played a lot of places. Wow. But yeah, like, I feel like guys like this were not looked at as great defenders, but under this identity that Thibodeau has them playing under, it's been great for them. For our team, though, it was disappointing. No 20-point scorers. It sucks. Cam Thomas was on that 6-game, 20-plus point streak. He had 19 today. So that sucked. He had a bad game, Cam Thomas. He did. Had 5 turnovers. I think the first possession of the game, he got poked from behind by, forget who it was, but it was a turnover. So he had some Bad turnovers in this game. He had one at the end of the game where he just threw a pass to Cam Johnson that was nowhere near him, and maybe it was a miscommunication, I don't know, but just not what you want to see. Cam was a minus 29 today, which was by far the worst on the team. So, yeah, I mean, he scored 19, 6 of 14. He had 5 assists, or 5 rebounds, 6 assists. He did a good job, like, moving the ball in the first half. He definitely was the Knicks' main priority on defense was not to let Cam Thomas beat them. It was pretty obvious. So he did a good job of taking what the Knicks were giving him, and he found his moments to get to the line. He went 6 of 6 at the line. But overall, the Knicks were going to do everything in their power to not let Cam Thomas beat them. And I think at times he may have gotten impatient and tried to force it too much, and that results in the 5 turnovers. We'll go to Cam Johnson, who it looked like he got hurt in this game, but I think he was fine. He stayed in the game. He kind of like jammed his toes or whatever, so he should be fine. 13 points on 3 of 7. He was 3 of 6 from 3. He couldn't make a shot in the fourth quarter, which that's his MO. That's what he does. 4 of 4 at the line. But yeah, it's just, as I said, it's crazy how this man cannot make a fourth quarter shot. He really is Joe Harris from the Bucks series. He just, for some reason, when the lights get bright, Cam Johnson just can't find nylon, and it's just weird. So, Mikal Bridges, I tweeted this too. I feel like Mikal Bridges, especially the first 3 quarters, this was one of his best two-way games in a long time, maybe since last season, honestly. We've gotten on Mikal Bridges for his lack of defense this year, which has been evident. And recently, his scoring outputs have not been great either. And through the first 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters, he had 18 points. I don't think he scored in the fourth quarter. So it looked like he was on his way to a good game, but he had 18 points on 7 of 14 shooting, 4 of 9 from 3, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 turnovers. So it wasn't a spectacular Mikal Bridges game, but he did a great job on Brunson. And one of the craziest parts about this game, too, is Jalen Brunson, who is the Knicks' best player, went 7 of 24. 7 of 24 he went. If you told me that coming into the game, I would like our chances of winning, and we lose by 12. Could have been more. So 7 of 24, and we still lose by that much. It's crazy. Nick Claxton, the box score may not look too bad. It does look pretty bad, actually. He had 5 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 1 turnover. Claxton was not good. He was not good. For a guy playing for a contract with about 10, 11 games left, this was not the game you wanted from him. You know, it's a big matchup, the rivalry once again, quote unquote. For Claxton to put out that type of performance, it was bad. And it's not like the Knicks have, some amazing center down there. This is not Wemby down there. This is not Gobert on defense. This was Isaiah Hartenstein. So for you to put up 5 points in this matchup and get just overmatched, Hartenstein had 17 points, 9 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks. He outplayed Claxton by a lot. Wasn't even close. And Claxton's a guy who wants $20+ million, maybe $25 million per year with his upcoming contract. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I feel like as time goes on, it's more realistic that maybe they do let him walk, but I'll believe it when I see it. Because we don't know who the GM's going to be. It's tough to really get a gauge on what they're going to do because we don't know who the GM's going to be, whether it's Marks or whether it's some other guy who gets hired. So we don't know. If this new GM that comes in just doesn't value Claxton at that number, then they might lose him for nothing. But maybe in the end, that's better than overpaying for him. I don't know. Schroeder was 4 of 14, 9 points. He had 3 assists, 7 rebounds for Schroeder. Wow, 3 blocks? 3 blocks for Dennis. Wow. 2 turnovers. Not a good shooting day. That was pretty evident. He took a hard fall in the fourth quarter. I think he was all right. But, not the best game. I didn't react to the last game versus Milwaukee, but I have to include that I love the way that Schroeder got in Giannis's face last game. I just love it. I feel like Giannis, for most Nets fans, Giannis is the guy we despise the most. So for someone to get in his face, and I think Giannis shoved him too, so he definitely got under his skin a bit there, but that was nice. But for this game, though, not the best performance there for Dennis Schroeder. Dorian Finney-Smith couldn't make a damn shot. I feel like he has not made a 3 since November or December. It's been rough. 0 of 4 from 3. He made that one layup at the end, which was there. I think that was to end the streak of no baskets for over 8 minutes. So, hey, Shout out DFS for that. 2 points in 21 minutes, 1 of 5 overall, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Just a game to forget about once again. He made a couple of nice hustle plays, but yeah, it's a forgettable game. We had some garbage time for Watford, who made a 3. Noah Clowney did nothing in 2 minutes. Hey, Clowney was a +6. I'll take it. Clowney played last game, by the way. I didn't react to that game once again, but I'll look real quick at his numbers from that game. I feel like he was fine. He had 5 points on 2 of 5. He was 1 of 4 from 3. He was shooting them threes. That's something that was pretty evident. A little surprising because Day'Ron Sharpe and Claxton are they're not allowed to shoot threes, but Clowney put up 4 3-point attempts in 14 minutes. He had 4 rebounds, 1 assist. So I feel like Clowney had his moments in that game. It was good to see from the 19-year-old. So hopefully by next year he has a bigger role. Day'Ron Sharpe, this annoyed me about Ollie's rotations today. So Clax played 31 minutes and Day'Ron Sharpe played 10. And Day'Ron Sharpe, I thought actually looked good when he was in there. Not that it would have changed the game entirely, but Sharpe was 2 of 4. He had 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He had a nice pass to Lonnie Walker for an easy layup. He had 1 block as well. It was a big block, too. I think it was Burks on a layup, and he swatted that to the 10th row. So Day'Ron played well. And for some reason, Claxton, who it wasn't a good matchup for him, clearly, Hartenstein was having his way with him. I mean, this was a good time to kind of put the playing time at 50-50. Put Day'Ron at 24 minutes, put Claxton at 24 minutes. I feel like this was a game that Day'Ron was, going to be very useful, and they just didn't use him. He did have 3 fouls in 10 minutes, but still, you get 6. He was halfway there. So Dennis Smith Jr. had a decent game numbers-wise. 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting, made a 3. 1 of 2 at the line, had a dunk, had 2 steals. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. Had 2 turnovers, though. Only 14 minutes, so nothing too memorable there. Lonnie Walker was amazing early. Lonnie Walker was 4 of 4 out the gate, had 9 points, didn't do really anything in the second half, but at first it looked like it was going to be a Lonnie Walker 25-point game. It just, whatever momentum he had, he lost it in the locker room at halftime. So, but Lonnie was 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, had 9 points overall, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. So yeah, once again, an embarrassing Nets loss, but as I said, I feel like big picture-wise, this is what we need. I hate to say it, but this might be what we need. Every embarrassing moment, every embarrassing loss that this franchise has, the closer we get to maybe what we want, which is hopefully a rebuild. I do want to pull up that Nets Daily tweet real quick. I want to see what exactly he said, because the way he worded it was he was hearing from people that the Nets want to go in this direction, and I've seen a lot of people quote tweet that and show their, dissatisfaction with that potential direction that the Nets want to go in. I mean, he has a lot of tweets, so this is going to be tough to find. Here it is. It was tweeted yesterday afternoon or night, whatever you want to call it, 6:20 p.m. Nets Daily said, I'm told Nets' primary strategy is to trade for big stars like Phoenix did with KD and Beal, not signing big free agents, which will take longer. They think they can use the first they have, their own, the traded picks from the Suns, Mavs, and 76ers to bring back stars. That's your direction. Now, to me, this is idiotic. This team has not had a lottery pick since Derek Favors in 2010. It might have been 11, but I think it was 10. So teams that build through trading for superstars, does it usually go well? I would say probably not. I'm trying to think now. When the Clippers got their guys, it was through free agency, which is great. You don't have to give up your future assets, just money. What the Suns did, as I said in the opening, it's just not sustainable. I don't, when I think of being a championship contender, I don't want to be like the Suns. I don't. I want a team that's built built through the draft, whether it's the Nuggets or OKC or Minnesota, a team like that, a fun team that these are our guys that were drafted here, they grew up here, and now they're turning into stars. That's what we all want, I think, for the most part. Even Denver with Jamal Murray and Jokic and even MPJ, those guys were drafted by Denver. Milwaukee, for the most part, with Middleton and Giannis. Obviously, Dame was a trade. But that's like, you can make a luxury trade like that when you have two other stars. Like, Middleton at one point was a star. I don't know if he is anymore. But still, like, when you have a Giannis, when you have a Middleton, you can afford to go out there and get a Dame Lillard when maybe Lillard doesn't have the best contract, as we know. He's going to make, I think, 50, 60 mil when he's 37 years old. So that's not ideal. But even teams like the Magic, they're not here yet. They're getting there. They've been on a nice run lately, I think. But teams like that, like, they are built through the draft. And for some reason, because of where the Nets play, they think that just about every free agent, they can get them. Every guy they want to trade for, they can get. And they can get them to re-sign long-term. Well, how'd that work with James Harden? The guy lasted 13 months here. I just feel like we've seen this before. You've tried to trade for Pierce. You've tried to trade for Garnett. You've tried to have a championship window. It lasted one season. You tried to trade for James Harden. You traded 7 or 8 first-round picks. I think it was 7. You traded 7 first-round picks and swaps to get James Harden for 1 year of a title window, which was ruined by injuries, right? That was the Harden hamstring and Kyrie ankle sprain year. 1 year. You traded 7 first-round picks for 1 year of a title window, and it was ended by injury. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. It's the definition of insanity. They do the same thing. We've been in Brooklyn since 2012, I think, or 2013. They've done this twice now. It's the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing and expecting different results. Can I admit that the Nets in 2021 had the best team in the league by far? Yeah, they did. They got unlucky. It is what it is. But maybe that tells you something. Like maybe that should tell you, like, yeah, we should build through the draft. Because I went over in the last video of all the future assets this team has in the draft. And in 2025, 2026, 27, 28, 29, they have a lot of first-round picks, whether it's from Phoenix mostly, Dallas. You have a Sixers pick in there in the first round. I think it might be top 8 protected. But still, you have a really good amount of picks. And they can find a way in the late 2020s here to build a great team in Brooklyn with a lot of great young players. And by that time, like, this is why it excites me. By that time, the Phoenix Suns are not going to be that good. I don't think, at least. Like, Durant's going to be retired or near retired at that point. Bradley Beal, God knows what he'll look like at 35, 36. Maybe not that old. I mean, he might be like 34 by that point, but still. The future of the Suns does not look great a few years from now, and they can turn into what we are right now, a directionless team that has nothing going for them. Maybe Devin Booker requests a trade at some point if they're that bad. So that's why it excites me. Like, we have that team's picks. Matt Ishbia was a new owner who just said, F it, get me all the stars here. I don't care how many draft picks it cost. And the Nets took advantage of maybe a desperate team. I obviously disagreed with trading Kevin and Kyrie, but that is what it is. But you're taking advantage of a team that was just desperate to get a star or a superstar. And in 2027, 28, 29, like, when we have those picks, the Suns might be god-awful, and we can keep those picks. Like, I'm not trading those picks for, like, Donovan Mitchell. If I'm trading those picks, I want a Luka Doncic, I want a Jokic, I want someone at that level. And we're not getting them. Like, it's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. We're not getting that level of superstar. I'm sorry. So if your plan is to trade some potentially really, really valuable Suns picks for B-level stars just to put asses in the seats, it's a bad idea. And I hate the way Joe Tsai runs this team. I really do. There was that Brian Lewis podcast with Eric Slater. I believe it's called Believe in Nets is the podcast. Brian Lewis went on to say that Joe Tsai views this ownership as a generational thing that he'll pass down to his kids. And if that's the truth, I mean, we might be screwed forever. I mean, this might be it. We might have had a 1-year title window our entire time in Brooklyn. Like, if this is how it's going to be, I have no hope with this team. I really don't. I mean, Joe Tsai, in my opinion, is awful. Awful owner. The way he treated the superstars here and the way, and even Sean Marks is guilty too, obviously, but when you have 3 superstars, I'm including Harden too, that are that level of player, guys that have been in this league for 10 plus years when they were here, and 2 of them won championships, MVPs, and everything, scoring titles, whatever, just top of the top, guys that all 3 of them I think made the NBA top 75. I mean, not Kyrie for for reasons that, we're not going to talk about, but he did make it apparently. So 3 top 75 players of all time, you had them all together, and the Nets treated them like they were just some random players. Like, they did not accommodate those players enough. And I hope they learned from that experience. I hope they did, because Joe Tsai was relatively a new owner. I think Tsai bought the team in full, because he bought a percentage of it, and then Prokhorov was like forced to sell the team, I guess. And Joe Tsai bought the team in full in the summer of 2019. So I think he bought the team a month after Kevin and Kyrie signed here. So, he was a new owner. I will say I'll give him that pass. But when you have stars at that level, 3 of them, 3 Hall of Famers, you have to do everything you can to make those guys happy. And I just don't think they did. I really don't. Like, you saw what happened last year when they wouldn't guarantee Kyrie's last year of his contract, and he got pissed and he forced his way out. And ever since then, it just left us in this situation that we're in now, where it's like, well, what do we do now? Like, do we rebuild? Do we just trade for a bunch of stars that weren't as good as the last stars we had? Like, what do we do? It leaves us in this like directionless position, and I don't know. Personally, I want to rebuild. I would trade Mikal Bridges for, either a young player that has a really great upside. That Jalen Green trade would have been perfect. Obviously, Jalen Green is now going off, and he's been great. But the trade that was proposed, I think it was Jalen Green and 2 of our first back for Mikal Bridges, that would have been perfect. To acquire 22-year-old Jalen Green and let him grow up in Brooklyn and see how it goes, and get your first-round picks back, that would have been ideal. But it's too far gone. Just another thing added to the list of mistakes that Sean Marks has made here. So that's all I got. I've been rambling here for a minute now. But yeah, sad loss. I don't know if I like these 1 o'clock games or not. I don't know. I woke up very late today. I always wake up late on Saturday. So I kind of woke up and the game was on. So that was cool. But I guess, I don't know. I think I prefer 7 o'clock. So hopefully there's no more 1 o'clock games. I'm going to see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 9 or 10 games left, maybe 11. So we're getting to the end here finally. There's still some easy games on the schedule, but it's not like it matters. This team is done. They're almost 20 games below 500. If they lose to Toronto on Monday, they are 20 games below 500. I mean, come on. Like, I don't think this team is that good, but they should not be this bad. They're just, something stinks in Brooklyn. Something stinks. I don't know what it is, but this team obviously should not be this bad. Pretty sad, but it is what it is. And hopefully in the offseason, we go in the direction that we want to go, which is the fire Marks and rebuild direction. So I don't know, but we'll find out. I'll talk to you guys. We play Chicago on Friday, maybe after that. Maybe after the Wizards game on Wednesday. I don't know. We'll get there, but hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time.